All right, Jason Rona here. We're at the 2025 Clash of Champions here at Hoosier RC in New Albany, Indiana. We're here with Daimon Borkowitz, a familiar face here in RC racing. He made a lot of trips with us over the years. He's here helping us here this weekend at a lot of races he did at the end of 2024, being a representative for JConcepts, going around, helping with the team, helping with the product, the customers. And yeah, we appreciate Daimon doing that. He's got a lot of experience in the field. We're trying to bring him up to speed from about 2018 to about 2025 here, but it's not taking long for a racer to pick up on all the latest things and the trends. So, you know, we like to do some of these update videos at some of these races because a lot of times we'll bring new items in. You know, this weekend it's the protector body for the RC10 B7. We've had a lot of, you know, customers and drivers ask, you know, for that vintage look. You know, vintage is all the rage right now because Associated, Kyosho, Yokomo, they're re-releasing a lot of their popular kits from the past. But everybody still wants to race in the current generation too, maybe look a little bit like they did back in the day. So we got this new protector body. First we went with the fit on the B7 because obviously it's one of the newest new cars, the popular platform at the moment. So we wanted to do something a little bit different here, but we already have a protector body for the RC10, so we kind of used a lot of styling cues from it. The body we talked about before that you named the Detonator, we got the Detonator Worlds body, and then we have a Mirage SS, which, so we have some of these old RC10 bodies, but we wanted to take and kind of package that together with something that would look good on the B7 vehicle. So what we did is, you know, we kind of started from scratch with this thing, and we arrived at a new body for the vehicle, brought it here this weekend, got it painted up. You know, Dark Side went ahead and kind of knocked this out of the park for us with a paint job. And we kind of decked it out with the new wheel we showed at the Florida Carpet Champs, which is the Pioneer. We went ahead and put the pink wheels on there. But, you know, based on your experience, you know, racing, you did the B4 days, B5, got into the B6, but you know, you never really experienced the RC10, sort of the golden generation, but I mean, you can see it. I mean, we have racers here that are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and you know, and we're going to be in the 60s here before you know it with the way this business is, and you just can't get away from it as a racer. So we're going to be out here in our 60s, but the reality is we get requests, you know, for this kind of a body, and when you're out there, you know, what do you see with, you know, talking to the customers, talking to the drivers, and kind of how this is going to fit in, you know, on the circuit?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of the, you know, the older crowd, you know, obviously sees it. They see the knobby tires, they see the pink wheels, and they, you know, kind of get that factor going on. But, you know, you have people like Spencer who come over here and are really like, wow, you know, look at that body. Yeah. And so I can see both aspects, and I really like how this kind of offers you a hybrid solution. So it's not necessarily like you have to go drive around the RC10 while that has a feel of its own. It's obviously nowhere near what a modern car is capable of doing, especially on, you know, tracks like this where you're super high bite. You know, we don't really have those loamy dirt tracks anymore. So you can kind of still get that same look while still getting the performance and all the cool hop-up parts that are coming out nowadays. But, you know, things like these tires, I think it'd be really cool to kind of make events catered to that. So you kind of save some of these outdoor tracks by saying, hey, you know, don't worry about going out and, you know, prepping it with a bunch of calcium like they do in Florida on their outdoor tracks. You know, just keep a little bit of water on it, throw some rooster tails, and have some fun.
Well, we've had, you know, team drivers, and we've had a lot of customers, enthusiasts that just are like, I want to see a step pin tire again. I want to see some more ribbed front tires. You know, ribs and pins, people talk about. So, you know, we're working on a new step pin here. This was something, a design that I was messing with in about 2000, 2001. And then the Carver front for two-wheel drive here, we have a stadium truck one. So I kind of felt like, hey, let's make a buggy Carver front. And with all this vintage stuff going on at the moment, we got races kind of popping up. We have drivers that are talking about they want to go kind of back. They want to run some of these conditions you talked about. So we're like, you know what, let's go ahead. It's kind of a passion project of mine. Let's go ahead and make some, you know, old pins and rib style tires for the 2.2 wheels. And let's start getting ready for these vintage vehicles. Racers that maybe are wanting to get out, go on, you know, backyard tracks or race on the old school dirt. but we're going to have something for it. Of course, we have the double Ds, we have, sprinters, and we have, flip outs and these other kind of tires from the past. But, we've never had this true step pin in our lineup. Obviously, it's super popular back in the day. Losi had great ones, and Jammin, and these great step pins. But we've incorporated sort of a lot of new technology and compounds, and some molding techniques, some crisp pins. We got the paddles in the center, and really looking forward to getting some of our guys that have asked for this type of stuff, get it out on the track. And we kind of decked this whole B7 out in a way that looks kind of vintage, but kind of modern in its own way. And that's kind of the inspiration with what's going on in the market. And sure, it's going to have some inspiration from the old days, but we also want to make it known that hey, you can go right on the race car with the F2 body, and you can have that package as well. So that one of the things here is the new protector body, and that's going to hit within the week here. One of the other items here is we've just added the new C and D mount for the B7. So along with our aluminum front bulkhead, we'll have a steel front bulkhead, but also we're going to have the aluminum and steel rear suspension mounts available in blue and black, of course, and we will have steel as well. But this is the aluminum first off, and we're pretty pumped about being able to deck out this whole new associated car. Like we said, we got the chassis, we got the -4 chassis, the standard chassis, but now we're kind of getting polished up here with the rest of the aluminum parts. So really kind of happy with kind of what's going on here with our accessory package the last couple months, where a lot of this hard work we put in over 2024 starting to come into 2025, and everyone can kind of see what we've been working on. And from your perspective, you've been doing these events. We're here at Hoosier. This is your first time here. Talk to us about being what you're seeing on the track. We got high grip, we got slick tires, we're running smoothie twos. So talk to us a little bit about that transition and seeing what you see here on a dirt track like this.
Yeah, so like you had mentioned, this is I believe it's a glued surface. So the only experience I've ever had personally with it, we have a track in Florida called New Red Hobbies. They do something I think similar, but it's a little bit different here. It's definitely a high bite surface, especially I think they resealed it last night. So you're looking at the short courses, there's traction rolling out there, so there's no lack of grip, that's for sure. And they've taken, it looks like a lot of their carpet setups and kind of started to bring that over, so we're still running much lower ride heights than I remember. I mean, like I got my ride height gauge over here, it's still set at like 24, I think, and they're running, maybe, 18 or
15.
something? Yeah, 15 out there now,
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot to get used to now, even though it kind of looks the same. They've made a lot of improvements and kind of nailed in the fine setups. So, yeah, I think you go out there. Hopefully, the track, once they reseal it, it looks like it's gonna seal in that top layer. All the dust will kind of settle in, and I think the guys are going to be happy with how consistent it stays.
Yeah, kind of segue into we got the Pioneer wheel in white here. We put it on my other race car, but this is on the Smoothie 2 tire, which we're using here this weekend. So typical of these kind of conditions. Obviously, we got different sidewall versions. We got a thicker sidewall. We have the ability to add the inner sidewall support to the standard one. So tuning with the front tires is a big thing on a track like this. And that's kind of where we went through, several years ago. We knew we wanted to tune more with the fronts because that steering, that being able to drive smooth arcs, consistency is such a big thing. So, wanted to point out that the Pioneer wheels are going to be good on any surface, on any type of these treads that fit 2.2-inch style wheels. And yes, the screws are for aesthetics on these. People ask that all the time. We wanted to add those because that was our inspiration from Masami's old 89 stealth cars and Yokomos where they had adapters. And for those vintage guys, we will have this Pioneer wheel for the RC10s and RC10T, but the screws will mean something on the rears. We will have that adapter for 1/4-inch and 3/16 axles, so it will mean something on there. But Daimon, we got another item here in front of us, which is our little hardware and screw box. So we wanted to kind of point this item out, but we've had the toolbox, we've had the storage box out already. A lot of effort went into those projects, and we said, why not let's carry out this whole thing and make a box for screws. I know personally, from my experience over the years, I used to use a lot of Yokomo storage boxes because I always thought they were great, the best. But you know, we wanted to incorporate some specific items to this. You know, people say, oh, you know, maybe you just rebranded these things. No, this is all, you know, new molds for us, all designed, you know, by us for these kind of purposes. So, you know, these items are built to get the screws in and out. For the racers that know what it's like to pull screws out of a box like this, they get caught in corners, they get tied up. So we've added radiuses at the bottom of all these walls, and you know, the slide-in dividers have radiuses at the bottom, and you can screw them into the box. That's the other idea here that we added with the toolbox, the storage boxes. You know, for the back, you know, screws go in from the bottom and hold the dividers in there so they don't just fall out and your screws go into each other. So that's, you know, things that I've kind of felt that were annoying over the years. We tried to incorporate these little items into the new boxes, and I hope everyone can enjoy them. You know, like I know it's meant to be enjoyed. You know, so you know, it's frustrating when you go in some of these other boxes and these things come out. You know, and then the screws are all caught, and you know, you want these things to be secure. You know, be secure in here. You know, over and over. You can do that with the screws. And then the radius bottoms get you in and out nicely without, you know, being, you know, not to go too infomercial here, but you know, but that's the idea. So box goes, you know, double closure on the screw and hardware box. We'll transition over to the Worlds. You know, Danny did a lot of nice work for us at the Worlds here behind the camera. We showed a lot of, you know, the new wrenches. This is a new set from 7 to 3.0. Steel wrenches. We got these in different colors. The set is actually going to have a variety of colors in it. We got the black, you know, we got the gold. Yeah, I call it like the rainbow, but I think oil slick is what they call it on the internet these days. But so everything's got a little bit of a little different color, so you still have an eye on, you know, idea of which one you're going with. You know, like the 363, you know, that's for our old, you know, fin turnbuckles. So nice little set we're going to have. That's ready to go as soon as we get back home. And so that's kind of a little, you know, kind of bring us up to speed here at the Clash of Champions. We appreciate you watching, and good luck, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.